Hello, everybody. It's Marisa Lowen, Transformational Business Coach. It's Tuesday, and we are going to get started. Hi, Terry. I see that you posted in there, and please let me know that you can hear me. We are going to dive in. I'm hoping this is about 40 minutes, but we might get done sooner. But it really depends on how many questions or how in-depth people want to go. And I'm willing to dive in and really kind of get some examples going here. I always try and think of like examples, and it never quite works as well unless I'm actually doing it with somebody, and then I can actually pull out different questions. So please do not hesitate. Post questions about your audience, your content. I know from last week there are still some questions around, really defining your why or who your clients are. So I'm going to break it down again. I'm just going to go over a little bit of what we did last week so that we've got it fresh in our minds. The secret to building not only really great content for your business, but also to attract clients effortlessly and easy. I'm not saying there isn't a lot of work in it. There is. There's a lot of work in getting to know your clients and creating content. But it gets easier and easier when you absolutely 100% know that what you're doing is awesome and that there's a need for it and that you have a place in this world. It absolutely 100% ties in with your self-worth. If you don't believe in you or your product, no one else is either, okay? Ground rules, 100%. If you don't, they won't, okay? Has anyone ever seen the movie Field of Dreams? If you build it, they will come. That's what's happening up here, okay? You are building this empire. You are building this amazing business. You are building these products and packages that the world needs. And this goes for anything. You could be making jewelry, you could be making soap, you could be working with people in coaching, you could be working on a healing capacity, you could be writers, videographers. It doesn't matter. It's why we're here. It's our purpose, okay? It's what we are doing, what we are creating, what we are putting out into the world. When we fully step into that, just unapologetically, unequivocally, just, you know what, here I am, world, here I am, take what I have, the clients come. They do. And I don't want to, this isn't stepping into any woo-woo or manifestation. This is just attraction. Like, this is law of attraction. This is marketing. People love brands that make them feel really good. When do we feel really good about a brand? When they believe in themselves, when they shout it from the rooftops, new and improved, brand new formula. This is the design of the century. Like, they really kind of step into it. So I want everybody right now who's watching on the webinar or the replay to just take a moment and ground yourself into why you're doing this. And if you're on the chat, put it in. I want to see why you are in business. Why are you in business for yourself? What are you selling? Why is it products versus packages? What are you doing with yourself and your business? Thanks, Terry, for letting me know that you can hear me, because I just went on a huge tangent, and I would hate to repeat that. So please do, if you are in the chat, post it. If you watching this on the replay, I want you to email me at hello@marisalowen.com, and I want to hear it. Because if you can't declare it to me, that says to me that you can't declare it to your clients. So challenge, double dare, get it in there. Tell me what it is. I want to hear it. If it's not quite there, I can help you craft it. That's what I'm here in the world, is to help people really step into that power and own their shit, okay? So if everyone's kind of clear on that, we're going to move ahead, and I'm just going to check the chat before I hop into the presentation. And I promise to hop into the presentation this time. Terry says, I'm continuing an old business that my ex-husband and I ran. I want to make it mine and have it become my passion, or to find something that does excite me. So Terry, I want you to tell me what excites you. Is it really this business? Is it something else? Do you dare to declare, Terry? Because I want to hear it. I want to know. I want to hear people going, yeah, I love this so much that I am willing to get on this webinar and post in this chat that this is what I love doing. Alyssa, hi. So she says, as you helped me realize last week, I'm selling legitimacy and professionalism to my clients. Hells yes. I actually was thinking about you all week because I swear, you know, when you like step into a subject and then you see that subject everywhere, tons of people are like, how do I write a book? How do I get to the Amazon bestseller? I see everybody doing it. Is it really legitimate? Where do I find an editor? I mean, all over the place. So Alyssa, can you send me your contact information, please? I'm a referral like storm. So send me your website and your packages and how you work with people to hello@marisalowen.com because it was all over last week. So on the weekend, I kept seeing it everywhere. In every group I was in, I saw it. And you know what? And that's, people were absolutely using those words. Like, how do I be a legitimate book writer? You know, how do I actually, you know, get to the top of the bestseller list without, you know, compromising my ethics? And, you know, can I write a book? That was a huge one. Would I be able to write a book? Of course, everyone's like, of course you can write a book, but not actually going into detail about how you would do it or how you would go about finding it. So that was definitely lacking. So Alyssa, I'm going to ask you for that. Okay, so Terry, I love dealing with clients and solving their problems, but I'm not really a tech head and I don't have those resources anymore. Okay, so what problems are you solving, Terry? Are we changing their flat tire? That could be metaphorically or literally if you are a mechanic. Terry, I want you to get really specific. I'm going to keep challenging you on this for as long as you come to my webinars. I want to know exactly what problems you are fixing. You know, Alyssa really had a great thing. She's actually, you know, selling legitimacy and professionalism. It's huge. That's a huge, huge thing. People are going to be searching, and we're going to get into this a little bit in this webinar, but people are going to be searching for how to write a book, how do I find an editor, how do I get it published? And Alyssa's going to say, not only can you do these things, and I've got the content for you, but I'm also going to one-up you and say, guess what? By going this route with me, you're going to get legitimacy and professionalism. And what is, and Alyssa, I'm going to challenge you a little bit further, and we're going to get into that in the presentation. But go further. What does legitimacy and professionalism give them for either their business or their life or their family or, you know, just what makes them happy? Take it a step further. Okay, so without further ado, I am going to dive into this presentation. We're going to come back to this. I think I'm going to keep going over this till everybody gets this, because once we really, like I said, step into what we do as professionals and how we help people, it just goes up, okay? Like everything gets a lot easier. Okay, so this is me actually sharing my presentation this time. Anyone who was here last week, I totally went and did the whole presentation until I went to put on some lip gloss and somebody noticed. And then I realized that I hadn't shared my desktop. So get in here. Awesome, and I'm gonna dive right in. All right, so we're in the presentation. So hopefully everybody has their worksheets in front of them. If they haven't, print it off afterwards. I'm going to go through each of the sections, but I'm not going to go into deep depth with all of them because I really want us to be able to go through some of the basics, get through some of the questions now, fill out the form, get your messages down pat, get your keywords down pat, and then on Thursday, we're going to really go deeper, okay? So we're going to really look at not only how we, you know, have we got the right information on this worksheet, but then how do we put it into practice? Okay, and this is actually going to lead into next week's webinar about social media and blogging and YouTube. Okay, so just giving you a little bit of a teaser there. All right, so let's start. All right, so what do you do? Okay, so this is, I know that I've asked you this last week and I've asked you this on previous webinars if you've been joining me for all of them. You know, I'm gonna keep asking, what do you do? Okay, we want everybody to have an incredible elevator pitch. An elevator pitch is that 30-second, you know, introduction and ask. Okay, so that's the thing, is a lot of people will stop at the introduction, but it isn't. It's actually going into what you want that person to do. Okay, do you want them to ask you for more information? Do you want them to invest in your company? Do you want them to buy a product? Do you want them to set up a call with you? So this is the thing, is when we think about this, it's not like we're gonna have an elevator pitch and it's like, okay, and then we're gonna start selling to this person, but it is leaving the opportunity for your intention. Okay, so this is where I'm going to ask everybody, you know, what do you really want people to do? Do you want them to buy a product? Do you want them to sign up to a group program? Do you want them to get on your email list? We need to know what you want them to do. And we're going to include that in what you do. And I'll show you kind of how to craft that a little bit. Oh, Jillian, hello. So Jillian's selling professionalism, authenticity, and abundance. Okay, I love that, Jillian, but Jillian, I think there's more, and you know that there's more. You know, that there's actually like a storytelling as well going into your components. And we talked about this. Jillian actually came to a live marketing workshop I had a couple weeks ago. So when you think about your overall experience with your clients, where you literally not only capture their story in either their branding or the photography, but you shout it from the rooftops. Okay. And I don't want you to lose this element. Even if you phase it out of your, you know, where you're not necessarily, you know, doing a week of promotion for your clients, you know, maybe it's a day or a moment, but I want you to realize the importance of what that is for you. You shouting from the rooftops for your clients, that says a lot about you and who you are and what you're doing in your business, okay? Because that enthusiasm, that personal shout out is literally translated in your products, okay? So I want you to think about that. What do you do, Jillian? Because there's a lot of people who will be selling professionalism, authenticity, and abundance. I want to get the Jillian in there. I want to get that beautiful, unique, delicious creativity that only you can do, and you know that only you can do, okay? So Veronica says, I love what I do because I'm creating a life for myself to run naked and free in the world, literally and metaphorically, and also to empower other women entrepreneurs to not hold themselves back in sex and business. Now, just a clarification here, if anybody's listening to the replay and it's an audio and you can't see the chat happening, it's not a sex business, it's sex and business. So it's really, you know, reaching in and identifying who we are, you know, not only our sex, but sexually, and infusing who we are unapologetically and authentically in our business. Okay, so Veronica, just watch your sex and business. It's just people are gonna be like, what? You're in porn or something. You really want to get clear about what you do. Okay, so think about the foundation, you know, the that Biz Laid Bare line that you have. That really does encompass, you know, what you do. You're really stripping all of this pretentiousness. You're, you know, stripping all of the formalities out of business, and you are just really diving deep in with the business owners to get this foundational support going for their business so that they can elevate it higher. Okay. Sharon, hi Sharon. Sharon says, hey La, I'm a writer and mentor helping female introvert entrepreneurs succeed in life and business and make them smile. Sharon, I think, you know, you're also missing just a little bit here, okay? Because what makes this different than anyone else? Okay, and you know this. We've talked about this. So I want you to kind of just sit for a moment and go kind of like, yeah, what else have I got? What's my special sauce? What's my, you know, my uniqueness? I'm going to guess it's also related to you having a really great niche that you can be marketing to, that you can speak their language. I'm just going to leave it there. Okay, so we want to kind of go. So in the worksheet, this corresponds really with the what is your product or package and what problem does it solve, okay? So think about what you do. This is what I create. This is who it is for. This is why it's for them. And here are my next steps if you're interested, okay? Does that make sense to everybody? We're crafting this. And I'm going to keep asking you to go a step further. What else does it solve? Okay, yes, somebody needs branding. Yes, somebody needs photographs. Why do they need that? Well, we're in a very visual world right now. We're also in a world where there's a lot of noise. Okay, there's a lot of imagery coming at us. There's a lot of messages coming at us. Marketing has never been more cooler, says the online marketer, me, because we can really target and retarget and focus in on clients and actually say, hey, I see you. Not only do I see you, but I've created this amazing product and messaging for you so that you know it's for you. Okay. we want, hey, Becky, we want to really go further in what makes us unique and why people need us. And I want, there's a lot of women on here. I want you to really think about this. Why does the world need women entrepreneurs? Okay. What is what we got different than a male-dominated business world? Okay, and if anyone follows me on Facebook, one of the things that I saw recently was that I posted a comment in a Facebook group, and not to say that it was only men disagreeing with me and only women agreeing with me. There was definitely a mix, but predominantly there was a lot of squashing, a lot of like, shut up, I'm here, I'm going to talk, going on. And I thought that it was very interesting because, and a lot of women were just like, I hear what you're saying, but this is what else I see. And it's a very different way of communicating. And this is a time in business where things are changing. We're no longer the loudest is the most successful because the rest of them don't have a voice. Now we're looking at a time where the feminine, the very women way of communicating, where we're like, hey, let's actually talk about this and figure it out, is coming into play. And I think it's a really great positive thing in business. However, women have traditionally have given the right of way to others. Okay, so when we think about what we do and what we're doing, we really want to be able to empower ourselves to say, actually, I have a place in this market and I have a right to charge what I want to charge, and I'm going to do it. Okay, so I want you to really think about, what do you actually do? Okay, and what your purpose is in the world and what you serve. I'm going to keep repeating it until everybody's got it. Okay, so some examples. So if somebody doesn't have it, do post in the chat and I will go through it. But, I want to think about, I actually was recently talking to somebody, they have a bookkeeping course, an online bookkeeping course. And, I said, well, okay, well, what problem does it solve? Well, people don't want to do their taxes and they put it off, and they're just generally ashamed of what their numbers are or whatever. And I said, but what do they get out of it? And, through our exploration, we looked at, women who are really taking control of their finances. They are getting rid of the shame of maybe spending more in their business than their take home, especially in their first couple of years of business. Really getting rid of, the fear and the kind of that expectation that paying taxes is a scary thing, where it's actually really awesome because the more taxes that you pay means the more money you made in your business. So we looked at kind of the next step. So somebody's looking for, how do I do my taxes, or how do I, we're in Canada, so it's like, how do I submit my GST? They might be looking for things like that, but they're going to see that your content is about that, but you're really leading them to the next step. You're giving them that possibility of something more. Okay, does that make sense? Okay. By the way, does everybody see? I hope everyone sees the presentation this time and not my face. So we want to dive in to the next page, and this is where we start talking about the format. Oh, I missed a step here. So I want to say, go a step further. What does it solve? So these things that you're putting down about the next thing that it solves, this is actually part of your content. These are the topics for your content creation. We want to actually flush these out, and we're going to go through that a little bit on Thursday. But I want you to start thinking about what this looks like. So I'm going to take some people in here whose examples. So I'm going to go with Alyssa. Alyssa, you've got, I don't put in the chat what you've come up with, but I'm going to just throw out some ideas here. Again, it's like, how do I write a book? Can anyone write a book? Having a blog post, can anyone write a book? That is probably one of the best keywords, and we can check that out. I'm going to switch to a couple tools I use to see if it is actually the best, line, but I'm willing to bet that's probably a good one. Anything that's like a full sentence, we call it long tail search. Anything that's short term, like it'd be like write book would be short tail. Long tail would be, how do I write a book? Okay. And these are the titles of your blog posts. These are the titles of, and we're going to get into search engine optimization a little bit later, but these are the titles of your pages in your blog posts. And this is something we want to be really cognizant of is that when we create content on our websites, we don't want to just have like marisalowen.com/about-us. Nobody's Googling about us, okay? What they are Googling is business coach or how do I hire a business coach? I think on mine it's like Marisa Lowen transformational business coach. Okay, so I actually rate, I think I'm number 4 in Google listings for transformational business coach. It goes right to my About Us page. Okay, so we want to take these keywords and these content of what people are searching for at Google 2 a.m. member, and we're going to be incorporating that into our content. Okay, so I'm going to go into, so these are your keywords, post them in here. I'm happy to flesh out a few more content, but just get it into the chat so I can see where everybody's at. Then we're going to look at what type of content, and so what is the format? Okay, so there's writing, and writing can be anything from blog posts on your website, the content on your website. If you're creating standalone web landing pages or squeeze pages for your opt-ins, and if you don't know what those are, just put it in the chat and I'm happy to explain those. You know, really looking at what the meta is. So the meta right now, Google used to really read the meta quite a bit for search engine optimization, the meta keywords. Now they use it mostly for the description that you see when you do a Google search. So you'll see that there's the title in Google. Actually, here, let me just flip out and kind of show you that. I'll go into Google here. You know, if I'm looking for handmade soap, use that as an example. So this meta right here where you see Wild Prairie Soap Company is a Canadian manufacturer of natural skin products. Come see our handmade soap, bath and body products. Now, when we talk about content, this is a great example. You'll see that there's a lot of content that comes up in Google now. Okay, so we have the writing, which is down here in the listings. We have images, which I mean, I love that images now comes up, you know, more predominantly than the content, which is something we want to think about when you're creating images, whether these are product images in your online shop. It doesn't work for Etsy because Etsy converts the names to a number, but when you're creating an online shop on your website, or you're creating any images for blog posts or on your website, like don't be calling it image 23614. You know, you're actually going to be calling it handmade soap or handcrafted soap, bath and body products, you know, bath and wedding. I always anytime you have a product, I always say put in a wedding gift image in there, because people are looking for wedding gift ideas. Use those phrases. Becky says, I help people implement systems for their sales funnels and lead generation tools. I'm always looking to create unique content. Yes, Becky, yes. We have a few systems people here on the call, so they're going to be like, oh, Becky does systems. So cool. So, you know, we want to be able to lead into what we've got. We want people to be attracted to this. We want to use the keywords, what people are using to look for it, because then it's going to come up higher. Now, Google is also location sensitive. So as you can tell, I'm in Alberta, Canada. It's actually, you know, showing things that are made in Alberta. Now, this person, whoever did the Alberta Soap Company, genius, okay? Because they've actually put made in Alberta, Canada in their meta. And you can tell that they've done some work. Luxurious and natural handmade soap for sensitive, dry, normal, oily skin care, lotions, body, like this person has done a really great job of some search engine optimization, made in Alberta, Canada. They've actually put those content, those things that people search for, you know, handmade soap for sensitive skin, in there, and they're going to come up for that. Okay. So this is kind of your meta. So make sure, and you're able to do that in WordPress. Use Yoast, Yoast SEO for, you know, improving this. We're going to be putting our content in our search engine optimization. More on search engine optimization in the coming weeks. We're going to talk about that a little bit more, but I want you to start thinking about this, thinking about these keywords, thinking about what people are entering into Google, and that you're going to be creating that content for them. All right, let me hop back in here. Okay, so writing. So blog posts, guest blog posts, you can write on other people's sites, you can write for Huffington Post, you can write for, you know, Mind Body Green, Elephant Journal, you can write for your friends' websites. So link backs used to be really popular in search engine optimization until kind of an abuse happened where people just create full web pages with just links to sites. But link backs are still really a positive thing. Google likes to look and see what the quality is. So if you've got Huffington Post linking to your website in your author bio, Google's going to say, well, Huffington Post is a credible source, and so therefore when it links to Becky's website, then I'm going to give this a higher ranking. So not only will Huffington Post come up when somebody's looking for the keyword of that topic, but your website's also going to come up in the natural search. So those are things to think about. Other kinds of writing are, ebooks and I'm trying to think of what else. Yeah, if you put out, your own book, anything that is writing, you really still want to speak to everybody, okay? Speak to your ideal client, don't speak to everybody. Video. So YouTube, if you've ever heard me do any kind of marketing presentation before, YouTube is has way more searches than Google right now, so per minute. And so when we think about what we're putting our content in, video is definitely something to look at. Now, I know some people are saying I'm never going to get in front of a camera. And I don't, that's a whole other self-worth thing. But what I do want to encourage you is that there's lots of tools out there. I use one that has those motion, where it looks like somebody's writing on a whiteboard, and you can see the hand coming out. I can give you the name of that if anyone's interested. You can do voiceovers on those videos. You can create PowerPoint presentations and do videos. Sometimes I'll just do a video where it's just my hands because I'm showing a craft. I do those in my online courses. So do think about video. Again, we want to optimize the crap out of it. We want to look at what the keywords are. We want to title it what the people are searching for. If you're looking for baby, kitten videos, you're obviously going to title your YouTube video, cute baby kitten video. All right, audio. So I want to talk about audio a bit and the opportunities. So there is a podcast. I think that's actually further down this list, but there's also the ability to kind of download or do instant teleseminar where you can actually get on and answer people's questions, kind of very similar like this webinar. There's also opportunities where you can record things. You can get testimonials that are audio. There's a bunch of different ways that people want to digest information, so that there's always that possibility. Live one-to-one interactions. So that's more like that instant teleseminar or getting on Skype or Zoom where you invite people to kind of see what it's all about. You can definitely do product displays, or you can talk about with packages. It works both ways. I've seen some really amazing, I also have a direct sales gig where I sell tea. I've seen some really great live one-to-one, here, let me show you how to make a tea. And you're asking questions as you go. You're answering questions as you go from people in the audience. So you can really customize it, but then you can use that content afterwards and put it up as an audio or a video on YouTube. If you are using people, if you're recording people in a live one-to-one, you do want to get their permission or let them know that there is a possibility that they are being videoed or photographed or recorded on audio. But otherwise, that's just something you want to keep in mind. Podcasts. So whether it's your own podcast or you're a guest on someone else, it's a really great way to get the content out there, and to show that you know where people are and that you're meeting them there. Guest posts. So this kind of ties into the writing, but it is also writing on other people's websites, writing on the HuffPo, showing that not only are you knowledgeable in this area, but you know where people are. Product listing. So if you are selling a product, be really, especially in Etsy or Shopify, or if it's on your own website, you really want to use the keywords that people are searching for. If this is a great wedding gift, then you want to put that in there. If this is a really great gift for dad, put that in there because that's what people are searching for. Okay. But then I want you to get a little bit more specific. So the thing is, if we put gift for dad, you're going to lose out to all of the, top 25 lists for dad or gifts for dad listings that are out there. I want you to get really specific when you think about your keywords and what people are searching for. So is it a green or a rose quartz necklace? It's a great, wedding gift or gift for mom rose quartz necklace. Because if people are looking for that, that long tail search is actually going to help you rise to the top. Okay, we don't need to be search engine optimizing for everything or for these big keywords like weddings. I had a client who was saying that somebody was working on her website and they put weddings in each of her page titles. Well, we're not optimizing for weddings. You can't compete against like weddings.com and all these other names, Martha Stewart weddings. But what you are going to be putting in there is, vintage, rustic, candy themed weddings. Like, you want to get really specific about what the content is on that page and then name that page. I'm just going to check, make sure I haven't lost everybody here on the comments here. No comments. So that either means everyone's enthralled or I've lost you. So do keep commenting. I want to know where you're at. All right, so more places for your content. So your main website content. So this is where, your home page, your About You page, your Work With Me page, your Buy My Products Now page, your blog, everything should be focused on your customer. And if you haven't figured out your ideal customer yet, post it below and we'll spend some time. But, I really want you to start thinking about, who needs your stuff and where do they need. I think this kind of goes into, page 3 here. So like, what is your ideal client or your audience? Use these mediums. So we're going to go this in a second, but I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Excuse me. So your main website content, these are where your content is going to live. Image titles, kind of went through that. Social media profiles. Does it have what you do as your elevator pitch in your Twitter, your Instagram, your Facebook? One of the best social media tips is on your cover photo and your profile photo in Facebook, write your elevator pitch, put your website, put your opt-in in there, get people so that they know. Everyone always curious, I want to see that picture. Who is that? I want to see it up more close. They're going to click on that and they're going to see that description in there. That's your content. Social media content. So what are we putting out on the Twitters, on the Instagram, on the Snapchat, on the Facebook, on the YouTube? What are we putting out there that tells people that we know where they are so well, that we're meeting them there? The YouTube. Where else? What else we got? Where else are people thinking about putting their content in here? Becky says, we are here. Good. Sharon says, I found podcasting a lot more natural for me than video. Looking more into it. Yeah, absolutely. So this leads in this question. So it's like, what type of content, blog posts, video posts, social media, and then why do you choose these? Because you don't have to actually be everywhere. You don't have to be on Periscope. You don't have to be on Blab. You don't have to be on Anchor. You don't have to be on any of these things that go outside of your comfort zone. But I also recommend trying it once because you never know. Okay, I've had people who really have resisted going on Blab. They get on a Blab with me and they're like, that was the most fun I've ever had and I'm going to do my own. Absolutely. Okay. And so sometimes you don't realize and you have these limiting blocks and it's going to prevent you from being exactly where your audience is. Now, with 3 billion people online, a lot of times people ask me, well, where is my audience hanging out? Are they on Facebook? Or are they on Snapchat? Well, there's going to be a little bit of everybody's audience everywhere. There are social media demographics out there where the predominantly, ages 45 to 55 are like the Facebook now. And, the older generation isn't necessarily on Snapchat. Oh, that's changing too, because I've seen a lot of parents getting on Snapchat with their kids, not only so they can see what their kids are putting out there, but also, so they can communicate and do those like little face swaps. So that's becoming more popular. Just about everybody's doing Google searches. So content is still king on your website, as well as, YouTube and that kind of stuff. So your clients are going to be everywhere. So don't worry about, missing somebody if you don't feel like you should be on that social media. And we're going to get into that more with the social media. So Becky says, my ideal customer is a coach and solo salesperson. Yeah. So Becky, just kind of brainstorming. Of course, there's lots of coaches right now in Facebook groups, but they're also everywhere, right? They're networking at conferences. They're at coffee shops because they're tired of working by themselves all the time at home. There's lots of places. They're also Googling a lot, right? They're at home looking for resources, trying to kind of do a DIY, some of them, seeing if it's for them. So definitely look at the sales funnels that they're looking at. A lot of them are just be like, how do I do sales funnels? You probably could just do some really great content on the truth about sales funnels and the truth about, creating great lead in to go into sales funnels, there's a lot of noise, but not a lot of great stuff out there. So you could actually really clean up. All right, so your business. So again, why do they need it? One of the things that we're going to look at is if your clients are already talking about, and I'm going to show you this little tool where you can kind of see some of what your clients might already be talking about. We want to look at where they're already talking. What are they doing? We're going to be doing some market research. We're going to be asking them, what do they need? What are they missing? Social media is wonderful for market research. Just make sure that it is your audience that you're asking and not just random people. So do have some qualifying. I used to do market research for years. So, do ask them things like, if you don't mind being a part of this, fill out my quick survey, have like 5 or 6 questions, and then have some qualifiers, what's your age, what's your average income, all that kind of stuff. So when we talk about their terms and why do they need, I'm just going to flip out into this kind of cool tool that I've been playing with. Oh, did I close it? Oh, yeah. I might have closed it here. Okay, so this is kind of neat. So say we're just going to use soap, just because I know it's going to bring. Oh, it's going to make me go into my free day. Oh, of course. I go to show on a thing, and it wants me to do a 3-day trial. So this is Keyhole. I'm just going to talk about it a little bit. So you can search on Twitter and Instagram. It actually will show you let me go into Chrome here and see if I can fool it a little bit. If not, I might hide my IP. I want to show you the examples here. So let's do soap. See if I can fool it. I can. I'm a genius. Okay, so basically this is going to show you, like I've searched keywords, you can search hashtags, you can use URLs, as you can see up here. But basically, and this is of course, there's a paid version. There's always a paid version for some really good analytics, and we'll go into kind of some tools later. But this is kind of a neat way to see some snapshots of what people are talking. Oh, this is going to take forever now. I apparently picked too big of a subject. So while I'm waiting, I'll just talk about this. So we want to look at, do you have, and I'm not going to purposely say competitors. I want to look at other people who are selling in the marketplace. What are they doing right now that's similar to your product? What are they talking about? What are the topics? Because chances are they've already got all these, if they're a bigger competitor, or even if they're a big brand, technically they've probably already paid for these big tools. So use what they're doing. Sometimes you want to go in the exact opposite of what the big brands are doing so that you stand out even more, but make sure it's what your clients are actually looking for. Okay, so soap. So we have 788 posts, 694 users are talking about soap. Because 694 users are talking about soap, that's hitting 9,206,410,000 other people. Here's your impressions. And here's some of the posts that people are putting out here. And I got really vague, okay? You can get right into what your product is, so you can actually see what people are referencing. And you can see what's going, do they have clout? What's their reach? You want to look at the top sites that are referencing it. Not a big surprise that Etsy is one of the biggest soap talkers, because of course handmade soap is huge right now. A little bit of Facebook, a little bit of Google. Something happened with BAFTA television Tumblr. I don't even know what that is, but you'll see the share of posts out there. You can also go into and actually see who's talking about you. And this is a great way to kind of see who out there is already doing what you do, or so what you do similar to what you do, and who needs what you do. Okay, so someone's like, I need some soap. How do I find soap? Well, then, their post is going to come up here. You can see some demographics. You can see where most people are talking about. Like, apparently Canadians don't like soap. Okay, definitely the US is Alaska really loves soap, and also down here no, I saw a dark down here. Something Argentinians don't really like soap. They're not really cool. Great Britain loves some soap. Canada, nuh-uh, we don't like talk about soap. So I think that's funny. You can see some of the related posts that were related with it, or I think this is actually Yeah, topics that are related. There's keywords that go with it. So this is where you're going to get a little bit more, extended long tail. So if you were talking about, you wanted to do face soap, or you wanted to do a content on, how to properly wash your face with soap so that you don't dry it out, so that your skin doesn't dry out, using some of these keywords is really going to help you. Going into these hashtags, you can then go into these hashtags in Instagram and Twitter and see what they've got. And I always recommend, if you're in Instagram and you want your image to stand out, take a look at the images that are already in this hashtag. If there's a similar theme or color, then always do the opposite color, or make it stand out, make it, put a video in there. And then you've got like some top sources that are talking about soap. Okay. So obviously people on their phones in their showers are talking about soap. I don't know. I'm just making this up. Android, you can see desktop web. So this is good for when you're customizing and you're optimizing. Clearly I'm willing to bet almost in every subject now that we're looking at, you're going to see that mobile use is definitely king. The great thing about this is you can download this, you can reference it, you can kind of go back to it. I'm a big fan of it. All right, let's get back in there. Any questions? Just want to make sure I haven't lost everybody. Oh, it's, keyhole.co. You'll see it on the next page. I put the URL in there. All right. Let me hop into here. So again, we want to talk about, why do they need it? So what are they asking for on social media? What are they looking for? What's the problem that they're trying to solve? Why do they need it? And then, is that really why they need it? And this is where I was talking about earlier. We want to see where they are and then go a step further. So if they're looking for how to write a book, what is that actually going to do for them? Is it because it's their lifelong dream to capture their, grandmother's journey around the world? Or is it because they want to increase their credibility in business? You might not want to be hitting the people who are writing about their grandmother. You want to be writing about the people in business. So then you can actually, that's how you start to niche. So that's actually how you create the content that's going to be for those people. So it's, how do I write a book, business, or how do I write a business book? These are the keywords that we're going to be looking at. And then what happens in their life with or without your product or package? Okay, so this is, I kind of skipped over a couple of these subjects, but I think they're pretty in the worksheet. I think they're pretty self-explanatory. If they're not, just let me know. The reason why I just know some of those ones I said, is your product an immediate answer or a long-term decision? So this kind of ties in also what happens in their life with or without your product. So, do they have the necklace for the wedding? Do they have, the coaching that they need for their business? Are they bringing in their clients? Are they making the sale? Are they making sure that all their tools are talking together? Do they have their systems in check? Are they writing that book? Are they delaying writing their book? So is this a short term or a long term? And then what happens in their life with or without your product or package? And these are going to be in their hashtags, right? I mean, oh man, Instagram's so great for like hashtags of disappointment. I should actually do a Tumblr of like the disappointed hashtags of Instagram. That's a really great indication where you're looking and saying, oh, I wish I had this, or I wish I had, I wish I had a little bit more. Well, that's what you're going to be talking to in your content. All right, so this is where we were talking about other, and I don't want to say competitors because we really don't have any competition in a $3 billion person internet. But we want to look at what other sellers in the marketplace are doing. They might have already done some really great research. Now, be careful because some of them haven't, and they're just really off there. But look at the ones who are really bringing in the sales, or who are doing really well. Etsy's a really great example. You can go and look and see how many items they've sold. Is their keywords working for them? Are they really getting to the ideal clients that you're looking at? What messages are resonating? So when they put out something on social media, are people loving it? Are people hating it? If they're hating it, that's even better because you can actually respond and say, actually, I've got the answer for you. Sorry that they didn't, but I've got it. Great opportunity to get in there and be where the conversation is. And yeah, what do they wish they could have right now? You know, what are they looking for in their life? What's this immediate need? Sometimes our products and packages, again, short-term, long-term, sometimes they're answering the immediate need now, but they lead to longer term. And that's the story we're going to weave in our content, that possibility that they could have something more. Now, what's stopping them from getting it? Do they just not know where they can get it? Do they not know that it exists at all? You know, coaching is a really interesting example because there's a lot of people who don't even know what coaching is, or what it could do for them. Or, you know, when they think of coach, they think of like, you know, the guy on the football on the sidelines yelling at the players. Well, that's not really what, you know, coaching, life coaching or business coaching or even health coaching is. So it's like, how do you educate them that it's for them? Okay. So if they're, I'm going to use like a life coach scenario. So if someone just really has, you know, no idea how to leave a relationship and they're you know, just really lost and they don't really, it's not really a therapy situation. They're just looking for ways that they can actually empower themselves. They might be looking for a coach, but they have no idea that relationship coach exists for them. So what are they like looking for? They're looking for, you know, how do I get out of a marriage? How do I walk away from a, you know, long-term relationship? So they're looking for some immediate needs, but you're also selling, you might be selling that package or that answer right now with your content, but what you're really selling is that long-term health and prosperity and abundance and empowerment for women who are leaving long-term relationships and really rediscovering their life. Does that make sense? Have I lost everybody? Oh, Jillian says, how much is the keyhole? I'm not sure, Jillian. We'll have to look at we can look at the pricings again in a sec. All right. So it comes down to, and I said this last week, so right, it comes down to know your shit versus know your shit. So again, this is where we're stepping into that self-worth. We believe that our product has a purpose. We believe that our product has a place. We believe that our clients, our potential clients, really need to know that we've got it. And how we're doing it is we're reaching them with our content in this strategy. Okay, so let's dive more into keywords and hashtags. So here's some tools that I love. You know, the Google AdWords keyword tool is still my go-to. It does ask you for a credit card now if you've just created an AdWords account. You don't have to have an ad going or pay for an ad to use it, but it is kind of a pain. It's a little bit longer of a step, but it is free. And I love it. You can actually go in and you can type in things like, you know, Maui vacation, December, and then you can see they'll show you all of the suggested terms that people are actually using. Keywordtool.io, it is also paid, but there's you can do some things for free. It's really great for looking at related keywords versus the subjects. Answer the Public is completely free. It's a little bit more, you've got to wade through it, but it's fun. The Sage will answer the questions for you. I love Hashtagify Me. It's mostly Twitter, but I've used it for Instagram, and I've also used it to optimize some Etsy products. So again, kind of knowing what you're looking for, but I love it. Here, I'll just go into Hashtagify Me if no one's seen it. It's really great too. Oh yeah, see, I go to it so much, my browser's like, here, you want to come here. So this one's really cool because I also think this is really funny. Okay, so this is Mother's Day. So let's see, let's search, oops, see if my computer doesn't freeze. Oh, my computer's freezing. Computer no longer likes Safari. I'm gonna flip into Chrome here. Sorry, people. I can entertain you with singing, but all right. So let's do book editing. Okay, so it's going to bring you up, and hopefully I can see them. Let me just make this a little bit bigger here so it's my whole screen. It's going to show you some related hashtags to book editing. So you've got proofread, book, self-pub, and then if you want to get down in here, you can go even further. So then these are the ones related to self-pub, so writers, writing. These are the hashtags that you can start putting your content in. And look at this. It even shows you some of the recent authors or people who are using these related hashtags, okay? This one, there isn't any active breakout alerts where like all of a sudden self-pub is like trending, but it's definitely going to give you that that snapshot. I love hashtagify me. I love just seeing, and actually, if you hover over it, it doesn't seem to be, oh yeah, here we go. So if you hover over it, you can see hashtag indie, popularity 67.9. You can actually also go in and see the top influencers for that. So you can actually see who is using this and gets the most response from that hashtag and some usage patterns. So you can actually, oh, that one's the buy one. So the last 2 months, it'll actually show you how popular it is. You can also use Google Trends to look at keywords. I do this all the time. I always have clients that are like, I want to use one word over the other. And I was like, well, let's take it to Google Trends and see who's the winner. I'll just use one from Veronica because it was easy. So it was like business versus biz, right? So once we get in here and you do a keyword, you can then add a term and you can do biz. Jen says that's pretty awesome. I'm not really sure. Here's my Chrome alerts. Okay. So this is where you can see business versus biz. So, and you can see over the last few years, you know, how, you know, business used to be really popular, and then we've actually seen less usage of business. So that would actually indicate, I would probably kind of dig a little bit further and see if people aren't using business, what are they using? I wonder if it's like entrepreneurs. Let's just see. Just curious. Nope, business is still king. And the only reason why it says entrepreneurs is 0 is just because compared to business, the numbers aren't comparable. But if we did, like, for example, entrepreneurs versus business owners. So here was where you can see. So entrepreneurs definitely is over business owners, okay, by quite a bit. And you can actually, you can do by news headlines, you can look at forecasts, you can also change where it is. So, you know, predominantly you can actually even go down if your city's big enough, you can actually see where people are using it versus. So you can see that, you know, Canada versus Nigeria. Okay, so that gives you some ideas. They also have, like, you can actually change the timeline. So if you just want to look over the last like year or so, you can look over the last hour. You know, I was trying to kind of drill down and see what's going on in the right now, especially when I'm looking for the news headlines. I want to see what's actually happening within the last like 5 days. Because if something is newsworthy in your product, then definitely hop on and start using that content. I couldn't access hashtagify me as it wouldn't recognize my Ninja domain for my email. Oh, that's interesting. You might have to use a Google email or something else. A lot of times these services are really cracking down on email domains so that they can reduce spammers and whatnot. So sometimes if they don't recognize it, they will do that. Okay, let's see what else I got here. Hashtags.org, it actually tracks, the overall trends of all hashtags, so it's kind of interesting. Sprout Social, definitely paid, but definitely worth it if you're ever looking for analytics from a whole social media spectrum and really looking into the content and being king there. Sprout Social is it. Crowdfire is kind of neat. It actually helps you clean out your Twitter and your Instagram, so if you went and followed a whole bunch of people and they didn't follow you back and you want to get rid of them, or you just want to clear out a lot of like dead or spam accounts, you can use Crowdfire. I put a little asterisk here because Crowdfire can be kind of depressing, because when people unfollow you, it will give you alerts and tell you, and you're like, oh, that's sad that those people have left me. But I always look at people who have unfollowed me as like room for people who really should be following me. And then keyhole.co. So that was that one. So let's see, Jillian wants to know how much it is. So let's see here. Sometimes I sign up for things and I'm really bad. I don't always remember how much. People are like, how much did you pay for that? I'm like, I don't know. Oh, let's see if my internet's going to work. Keyhole pricing, plans and pricing for Keyhole. So you're looking at about $129 a month, billed monthly. You know, sign up with a whole bunch of people, get access to it. But it definitely has a lot of value in there. All right, let's move along here because we're a little bit over. So then we want to talk about our key messages. So I've been in public relations for for over 14 years. And, one of the things, and I'm actually going to flip back. I'm going to flip back to so that you can see my lovely face. One second here. Hi, that's me. Okay, so one of the things with key messages is the whole thing behind key messages, when I first learned key messages, it was really for media relations, but also for our branding and our marketing. Okay, so key messages are these like little elevator pitches. They're really succinct, usually 2 to 3. You don't want to go over a lot, but they really describe who you are, what you do, who you're for, and why you're for them. Okay, so when you think about like a company, a big brand, what their key messages are, if they've got a new product coming out, number one, their new product, their first key message is, we've created this new product because we're answering the demand of the millions. Okay, they want to establish that they've listened to people and they've created this product because you've all been asking for it. Okay, so you set that precedence. Your second key message is like, what's so special about it? Why should we be buying this? What's new and improved about it? What's the new special sauce? Why have you switched from a regular sesame seed bun to an artisanal bun? Like, what's in it for me? Then your last key message is kind of like, again, is that call to action. Like, what do we want people to do? Do we want people to come to our event? Do we want people to sign up for our webinar? Do we want people to buy our product? Do we want people to schedule a call for us so we can see if we're a good fit? Okay, so that is definitely your key messages. So let's put some in here. Who's got some key messages they want to like declare their business? I want to see it. I want to see if it's changed over the elevator pitch from the beginning of this webinar. Do we know a little bit more clear about what we're offering and how we're delivering it and what's it going to be for? I'm going to hit refresh. Do I have anyone? Do I have to give you any examples? Do we need examples, more examples? Do you want me to start picking some random examples of people who I know who are on here? I will do it. Okay, so while everyone's, I'm going to use Jillian. So, Jillian's key messages might be something like, create a brand that really elevates your products and services above the rest. Jillian hates that, but I'm going to challenge her to come up with something even more delicious. And Jillian, who do you work for? Who are your ideal clients? Not the ones that you think you have to serve, but the ones you really want to serve. Jillian, I'm a visual storyteller ready to rock your visuals and show your message from the rooftops. Bam! But who's you? Who's you, Jillian? That's your second key message. So I want to know who you're serving. I know entrepreneurs, but that's a lot. And there's a lot of entrepreneurs that I know I would want to work with. So I'm going to guess there's entrepreneurs that you don't want to work with. Who else is on here? Becky. So we offer assistance to entrepreneurs to grow their sales funnel and automate it. So Becky, what if they don't know what a sales funnel is? What if they don't know they need a sales funnel? What's your key message for that? Why do they need a sales funnel? I mean, I know why you need a sales funnel because I love me some sales funnels, but why do they need a sales funnel? What are they going to get out of it? What's going to happen to their business? What's going to happen? And I like to always say this too. When you sell to someone, what happens to them? What happens to their people that they're rippling out to? Especially when we're in B2B. So if you're selling a sales funnel to a coach, what is the value not only to the coach, but the coach's clients? Because a really great sales funnel means that people find their ideal client faster and their ideal client finds them faster. Okay, so think about the key messages around that. Think about your sales funnels are about really honing in on the exact clients that you want. So if you have a high-end coach with a high-end coaching product, they don't want to waste their time filling up their email list with just anybody. They want people who are maybe not even necessarily ready to buy, but they already have a wealth conscious or a money appreciation level that they are at that high-end spending level. So what does a really good sales funnel do? Really good sales funnel, make sure that they get in there, right? Sharon says, I'm looking for heroin entrepreneur. Sorry, I always pronounce this as heroin, which reminds me of the drug. I'm looking for heroin entrepreneurs who want to create a heroic life and business, which is aligned with your needs, intentions, and dreams. Now, Sharon, are you using heroin because you want to identify that you only want to work with females? Just think about that, because a lot of times now we're getting into the age where people don't need to be labeled male or female, but you can indicate that you work with female entrepreneurs in other ways. And want to create a heroic life and business. So again, I love your terms of heroic, but what does that actually mean? Like, am I creating a business that rescues people? Or am I creating a business that really fulfills my life? Or am I creating a business that has me leaping off tall buildings? Like, what does that heroic business actually mean? So this is going beyond the elevator pitch. This is actually helping people. That your key messages are actually defining what they're going to get out of working with you. Okay, so, and there's sound bites. They're things that we say over and over again in our product and our content, so that it almost becomes like secondary taglines for us. So I'm gonna use Veronica as an example. Her tagline is Biz Laid Bare, but what else is there? So it's actually like creating the foundational systems, or it's actually her key message would be something like stripping the business pretenses so that we can build the strong foundations of business. She probably would say that would hold your biz tits up, but exactly, like those are the key messages that you want to actually get. So we're actually bringing in not only what we're exactly doing, but the value. Okay, so let's try this again. So Jillian, you is passionate business owners who have realized their worth and are ready to truly express their purpose, attracting and converting ideal clients into paying customers and raving fans. Yee-hoo. Yahoo! Yeah, absolutely, Jillian. I'm going to challenge you to go even further. Jillian's going to kick me. Jillian and I work together sometimes in coffee shops, so she's going to kick me, and I give her permission. Go even a little bit further. What are they, why are they ready to truly express their purpose? What are they getting out of expressing their purpose? What are they getting when they attract and convert ideal clients into paying customers and raving fans? What are they getting? Are they getting business longevity? Are they getting the ability to maybe quit their day job because they're using it as a side gig? Are they also becoming like kind of getting that legitimate and that professionalism that Alyssa had said earlier in her book editing? And Jillian, purpose expressed. No, I love your purpose, but your challenge is going to be, I love when people get on my webinars, by the way, and talk about like the marketing concepts that I've come up with them. So purpose expressed. So, but what is their purpose? Why do they need to express their purpose? What are they getting out of it? I mean, and Jillian, you know this, like you're marketing and branding, right? So what are they walking away with? And then after they've walked away with working from you, what are the ripple effects? Create that extended opportunity for them to really step into the future and see how investing in you right now is going to give them the long-term results. Here's their immediate need. Here's their long-term need, okay? My computer just about fell over. I'm looking for. Yeah, Alyssa, that is good. I'm looking for. Because it sets her up as she's looking for people that, like, she's bringing people to her, as opposed to, I'm desperate for people who. Becky says your assistant helps your ideal client that is ready to move through your process and grow with you. Becky, I want to get you even more exact in here. So your assistant, so getting from A to B faster, okay? Find your ideal client that's ready to do business with you. Yeah, I want to think about like you're basically setting up these sales funnels that are going to allow business owners to do other things. Okay, so either it's build content for themselves, or go on a vacation with their family. Your sales funnel, or your ability to have your assistant, I think your assistant is your brand, I'm guessing, is you're taking stuff off their plate. So it's actually not only stress relief, but they're getting to market faster. Okay, so they're getting their landing pages out. They're not struggling to figure out how to do it themselves. They're giving it to you, and your company is getting them to the market faster. And through the successful sales funnel is it's actually targeted audience that's going to want their product. Okay, does that make sense? Melissa says, I'm looking for writers who are dedicated to themselves and their craft. People who are ready to take their writing to published work they can be proud of. Oh, this is hard. No, this is good. Take your writing to the next level to publish work they can be proud of. Why do they need to be proud of it? Okay, so why are they publishing? So we kind of had this before. It's that legitimacy and that professionalism. Is it going to improve their business? Is it going to get a story out that has been really weighing them down because they haven't felt like they had an outlet to get it out? Are they looking to have this story to add to their legitimacy? So, maybe they've come up with this concept and they're not really sure how they're going to get it out to a wide audience. Well, writing a book helps, right? Because you have that ability to market a book a little bit faster than someone just kind of sitting on a screen and saying, hey, I got this idea. So think about why they're actually doing that. And why they need to be proud of it. Okay, so that's another key, because you brought that up a couple times, Alyssa. So proud of it. So what's been happening in their life that they need to write a book to be proud of? Okay, that's your takeaway. Alyssa, probably mostly to get a story out. I mainly work with fiction. Oh, because you are fiction. Okay, I remember asking this, like, whether it was fiction or, okay, so yeah, so why do they need to get that story out? What is it going to do for them? What's the income going to do for their family, them and their family? What is that legitimacy of getting that first book out there? Or maybe it's their second and third, but maybe they did it DIY. What's going to be the difference for them? What is working with you going to bridge the gap of doing it themselves? Actually, you have a couple gaps. So not doing it at all, doing themselves, and then doing it with you. So you can bridge two different segments here in the fiction world of people. You can either talk to them that they've, getting them from not doing it all to doing it, and then from doing it themselves to doing it with you. Does that make sense? Okay. Alyssa says, it's more that you should not publish a book that you are not proud of. And if they don't care, it's something they can be proud of. They shouldn't be looking. Yeah, no, it's not so much the people who don't care, or they're just going to throw out crap. What has brought somebody to write a book, especially a fiction book, where this is a story that they've crafted? There's a lot of criticism and judgment out there on, story arcs and character composition. So that's a lot of pressure. So what's happened in their life that has said, you know what, not only am I going to, put out my book, I'm going to actually go get it professionally done. I'm going to hire Alyssa, and I'm going to get this edited. What is that difference? What's just happened in their life that's going to get them from that DIY or not do it at all? Okay. So it's not something like being proud or not being proud of. What has prompted them to write this book that they feel the need to be proud of? Does that make sense? Sharon says, I'm looking for geeks and introverts who want to be the main character in the epic saga of their life and business. Those who bravely proclaim that they will succeed in their quest and succeed their own way. It is better, Sharon. One of the things that you're going to have to, I would say that you're going to want to expand on is what it means to be a main character in the epic saga of their life. Okay, what is the power of being the main character as opposed to always winning best supporting actress, right? So why do they need to move into that role? What is prompting them to move into that role? What's just happened in their life that says, you know what, I think it's time that I'm the main character and all the rest of you can get behind me or get beside me. Okay, so what just happened? Who are we actually speaking to? What's just happened in their life that's going to prompt them to go into Google and find the content that you've created that gets them there? Make sense? Okay. Sharon and Geek would know. No, they won't. So even though I encourage you to talk in this language, I want you to go further. I want you to basically walk up to a person and say, I see you. I see that this has just happened. I see that you've just ended a relationship and got tired of the job that you just had, and you're ready for something more. I see that you want to build something for yourself. And what does building something for yourself mean? Well, I know this because I went through this. And building something for yourself means that you've got ownership and that you have built something yourself and that you didn't rely on anyone else and that you weren't dependent on anyone else and that your income is also not dependent on anyone else because it's something that you set and created for yourself. Do you see the difference between main character, epic saga, and that whole, like, I see you right where you are. I see what's happened in your life. I see why you're going from A to B. And not only can I see where you're going from A to B, I've got a product that gets you there faster than doing it on your own. And not only that, but I'm already looking at what's out there for C and D for you. Okay. As a result of really stepping into your own epic saga and being that main character, you know, you can build a thriving, prosperous business for yourself. You can strengthen relationships with your loved ones. You can, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Like, build the possibility. Alyssa says, maybe it gives them security too. Publishing a book is terrifying. For many people, writing is bearing your soul and sharing that with others is really scary. Maybe part of what I offer is an easing of those fears. Absolutely. 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 First, in the sense that it's been vetted, and also the peace of mind of knowing that this thing they've poured their soul into won't be criticized for poor grammar. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Alyssa, yes. So in your content, you can actually create content about, you know, those fears and those, you know, will they all laugh at me and all those kind of stuff, you know, like, will I actually be able to be taken seriously as a writer? That's content. And what you're doing is you're giving them the example that you can actually provide that security and that reinforcement and that support. And this is how you do it. Yes. 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 Okay. Sharon, it's hard to be able in a short sentence. Well, yeah, I mean, we're going to be expanding this out. When we talk about key messages, it doesn't have to be marketing speak either. We do want them to be sound bites, but we want them to be recurring. We want them to be succinct. We do want them to be kind of that underlying theme. We want to keep referencing them. Okay, so it might not be the exact term, but when I talk about, you know, you and your main character epic saga, your key message is that the woman, the female, the heroine, is the foremost. Okay, so we're not helping her figure out why her husband does what his husband does, or why she can't necessarily, you know, get her team to respond to her. We're working on her. We're working on, you know, what she's got to do with it, that she's that central character that all of the rest revolve around. Okay, does that make sense? So your key messages are, it's really all about you being that main character and being right where you are, acknowledging what has got you here and how to get to the next level. Okay. Hope I didn't miss anybody here. Okay, I think I've caught up here. Yeah, Becky, your assistant helps you get to the market faster and ready to run on autopilot. Yeah, so that you can spend time, you know, with your family, building other products, coming up with new great ideas, going to conferences. Like, that's what you're going to be finding, Becky, is what do those entrepreneurs want more of? What's their triggers? What are they secretly hoping to have in their business that creating that sales funnel for them is going to help them also achieve? Not just the immediate sales on that product, but what is the outcome going forward? Okay. All right. So let's see here. Just going to flip back in here and make sure I have all my key messages. Yeah, so recurring, recognizable, brand. Veronica's really, you know, Biz Laid Bare. She's going to keep repeating Biz Laid Bare. It is her tagline, but she's also going to be talking about stripping all the business the business pretenses and getting right down to the fundamentals. She's going to be talking about, you know, what business owners actually need to develop the systems that they need to develop in their business that are going to contribute to their long-term success. Okay, they're going to be contributing to longevity. Okay. Oh, I only meant this for it to be 40 minutes. That's okay. So I'm going to go into questions now. If there are any other questions, please do post them in the chat. I'm happy to answer them. Terry says, wow, lots. Oh, I keep knocking over my computer. Well, lots to think about and figure out. Yeah, Terry. And I know, you know, for you, it's really going to be, is I think part of your power is going to be stepping into what really excites you and what you really want to do with your life. And yes, it might be your old business, but there's a world out there of possibility. And maybe you can take elements of your old business and really turn it into what you want. So I'm going to keep asking you this, Terry. What really excites you? What really is your passion? As soon as we figure that out, and sometimes we have to work with a couple clients to really figure it out, but think about, I always like journal after I work with a client, like, what did I really love about that session? What did I really love about that call? And I see if there's any keywords there for me. And if I do have those keywords, then I'm going to create content about that, because there's something going on there. There's something that I love so much about a client's expansion and breakthrough. Well, I want to help other people see that that's possible for them. So I'm using some of that content. If you design a necklace for a person, and they say, wow, I really love how this just sits right here, and I can wear certain outfits with it, record that, okay? And then go look and see if there's hashtags about, like the perfect length necklace, or, what's the perfect necklace for a V-neck top. These are things that we look at with the content, where we do that market research, where we find what people are talking about, what they're looking for, and then we deliver that content that answers that question. Okay, Jillian says, going further. I give people courage and the ability to create abundance in their passion-fueled life. I help them to create long-lasting success by showing who they really are and what they really do. They will connect and be able to continue making amazing money doing what they love. Yeah, that's great. You're getting there. A little bit more. That's okay. You're getting there. You're doing it. Becky says, thank you for thoughts doing this. Well, yeah, absolutely. I just find this is best. And really accessing my brain is the best way when I try and come up with examples. And then this goes right into my creative coterie. So then my creative coterie can actually see live examples, the people that are in there, and see similar businesses to them and see if that relates to them. And then, if they have questions, then I answer it in the group calls. So, when we talk about going further, I know that it can be challenging, especially if we don't know them yet. But ask your clients, ask your current clients, ask your past clients, say what's really working for you? I really want to get your feedback. What's going through your mind? What has come out of working with me? What has, after we did this service or this package, or you bought this product, what do you notice about yourself? Who have you become? This is a very bold question, and it's coaching, but it's who have you becoming as a part of this, of working together with me? You can incorporate this into your business, where you have a little exit survey after every time you work with a client. Let them know that it's coming and it's completely optional, but that you would love that feedback to grow your business. And then you're going to use that, and you're going to oh, this person really loves this content, or this part of this process we went through. I'm going to create content because there's probably more people like them. And I loved working with that client so much that I want to find more like them. And you're going to take those words and you're going to create content so that you then find more people like them, or they find you. Okay? Okay. See if there's any more. We need a post Marisa webinar. Yeah. Jillian, it's called the Creative Coterie. If you want more information, it's on the side. So after we do webinars and groups, there's definitely an after webinar talk in the Facebook group, where we keep going and we keep workshopping and researching. This stuff doesn't come overnight, and it certainly doesn't come in an hour-long webinar. Thursday, so everybody who's on here or who's watching the replay, get your worksheets in, get your worksheets going. If you have questions, send me an email at hello@marisalowen.com, because nobody left behind, right? Okay, so Thursday, we're gonna dive into this further, and we're gonna I'm gonna show you how you can create the content. We're gonna touch a little bit on search engine optimization. We're gonna touch a little bit on social media, but we are going to talk about how we don't lose our minds trying to create all of this content, okay? I'm gonna actually show you, there's an additional worksheet that's coming out for Thursday, and it's going to have a social media worksheet that basically helps you, social media content, it's a content management calendar basically, that's going to basically help you break down single ideas and incorporate it across an entire social media strategy, okay? And help you build additional content that works together. So you're not coming up with new content every day. You're not coming up with content even every week. It's really gonna be up to you and how fast you wanna create this, or how fast you need to build your business. But it's really gonna go into the logistics, and we're going to even dig further. So I want to see what everybody has. And if you're joining me on Thursday, then you're going to love it. And this replay is going to be up till Friday, actually, so that you do have the beginning part of this webinar. If you are watching the replay, don't rush. We're going to have it up till Friday so that we have both webinars up. And then the workbook will be out Thursday. So thank you so much, everybody, for coming in here. Sharon's laughing at me. And yeah, so yeah, Jillian, yeah. And plus, you know, you always get me at like the cafes. Jillian's got a special place in my heart. So she's, you know, got a really good question. These are things like we want to talk about these with people. We want to share our thoughts, and don't just leave it now. Don't just walk away and go kind of like, what am I doing next? Do the worksheet. If you get stuck, email hello@marisalowen.com. Ask me some questions. I'm there. And then Thursday, we're going to dive in. Thanks, everybody. And if you have any other questions, too, you can leave it in this chat. We're actually going to be using this same chat for Thursday. It's going to be up on the Thursdays page, so we can refer back. And if you need to know what kind of content, it's going to be in here. Okay? So thank you very much for joining me. It's been a pleasure. I love the fact that, you know, you're coming out on these webinars and you're willing to really step into your business, step into your self-worth, step into your product or your package's self-worth, and build like these just phenomenal rocking businesses, which I love getting to see as they grow and prosper. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you Thursday.